left you last time having just found the most perfect mooring at the end of the Peak Forest Canal in Bugsworth Basin.
Come on, boy.
We were travelling with Paul and Anthony from YouTube channel Narrowboat Life Unlocked. It was like we had our own little garden area for the two boats. And when we got a message to open our side hatch, this is the sort of childish fun we had.
It's on a peg.
Oh, they're those gross hot ones.
Oh, mega. Oh, brilliant.
They're your
Thank you
favourite.
very much. Oh, hang on, we've got to get the peg.
Oh, I'll just pull. You get the coup. There you go.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
And it was absolutely the best place to surprise Anthony on his 50th birthday.
I will.
Are we all ready?
Oh, here we go.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, one's got out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anthony. He's very shy. Happy birthday to you.
Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Speech! Oh, thanks ever so much, everyone, for coming. It was a real surprise. I just thought it was like a handful of people coming for a bit of a nibble, but...
Oh.
That's why you were smiling. After I got over the disappointment. Yeah, really nice to see everybody. So thanks for everyone who's made the effort to come.
Good on. Hey.
Thank you.
And while Paul and Anthony went away for a few days to celebrate, we kept an eye on their boat for them. And as a special birthday treat, Pete swept their chimney. In true Mary Poppins style.
Step in time! Step in time! Step in time! Come on, mighty, step in time! 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 Step in time!
And then we set about making plans for where we would moor next. We walked to Whaley Bridge to see what the mooring situation was like there. It was only a couple of days to the end of March, when the 14 days winter limit changes back to the posted number of days, like the 7 days you see here on the sign. There's a basin at the end of the canal in Whaley Bridge, like at Bugsworth. It's not as picturesque and interesting as the historic site there, but it's perfectly placed for easy access to the town. We had a lovely walk back to Bugsworth Basin, over the hills instead of along the towpath. When the boys were back and it was time to leave Bugsworth, we decided on a much more rural setting, just past Furnace Vale, with absolutely stunning views, and not far to walk to the cars. It was a 14-day mooring too, so we could stay a while and explore the area. And it had a wonderfully gravelled towpath, which is a very welcome treat after all the very muddy towpaths you deal with during the winter months. Our old boy Hamish is going to be 15 next month, and not up to walking long distances anymore, sadly. So Poppy and I enjoyed some longer walks on our own, while Hamish was happy to sit at his dad's feet while he worked. We often take you along and show you the beautiful side of our narrowboat life, but going on behind the scenes there's the not so pleasant jobs too. When you want to stay somewhere for longer and enjoy the beautiful view, you sometimes have to walk with the contents of your toilet and all of your rubbish and water containers to the nearest facilities. This is made a little easier for us as we travel with a car, but it's still some distance to get to the car with everything, especially in the more remote areas, which we love. This cart was definitely one of our best purchases, and can carry quite a heavy load, like when we need to top up with coal for the stove. One of the other bonuses about travelling with the car is being able to stay in one spot but travel further afield, like when we found out that Holly the cafe boat was not too far for us on the Macclesfield Canal. The downside of having a car though is figuring out how to move it. So after enjoying Joe's lovely cakes at Holly the cafe boat, we drove the car ahead to the canal at Congleton, parked up, got the train and headed back to New Mills where the boat was. After 2 trains and a 20-minute walk, we were back at the boat.
Little Bobster, hello my sweet.
As always, everyone was very excited to see us. Pete's a proper beer nerd and used to brew his own beer when we lived in Texas. And we'd been told that we couldn't miss a visit to the Torside Brewing Company, right behind New Mills Marina on the canal. They've been open since 2015 and have a great local following, and it's definitely popular amongst the many boaters that use the Peak Forest Canal. They invite local caterers in to provide food, and when we were there, it was curry night. They've got quite an extensive range of beers, and Pete struggled to choose which ones to try. He's never happier than when he's got a pint in hand and a packet of port scratchings. Or old ladies' toenails, as Anthony calls them. After an absolutely wonderful few weeks on the beautiful Peak Forest Canal, it was finally time for us to leave. We headed back to Marple Junction and turned back onto the Macclesfield Canal. I didn't film the whole of the return journey because we'd already done it on the way up. Our previous 3 videos before this one show the journey in much more detail, if you haven't seen them yet. But here's some highlights of our trip back.
Nice to see Caroline at the tiller.
We share the canal with other users, fishermen, canoeists, stand-up paddleboarders, and we always try and respect each other's space as far as possible. We were keeping over to the right to make space for some canoeists. But unfortunately it got a bit too shallow for Paul and Anthony's boat and they got stuck.
Proper stuff.
We took one last chance to have cake at Holiday Cafe Boat and then we waved goodbye to them. This is Zero, the boat that Joe and Vic from Holiday Cafe Boat live on. They're actually in the process of selling it now as they move back into a house with their toddler William, but they still run the cafe boat. The next day started off as slightly warm with fluffy white clouds. Beautiful weather for cruising back down Bosley Locks. Or so we thought. Black clouds rolled in, the temperature plummeted, and the heavens opened. When you're halfway down a flight of 12 locks, there's no stopping. We're not fair weather boaters by any means, and have done our fair share of cruising in the rain. But this was truly miserable. We were freezing cold and soaking wet and desperate just to find somewhere to stop. But the sighting of our first ducklings of the year definitely cheered us up.
Keep pulling.
We warmed up and then the four of us argued playing double. I think it's called Spot It in America. The next day's adventure was a boat that had come loose from its mooring and was across the canal. We moored up and then walked back to secure it again. And then called the CRT with the boat's name and number so that they could let the owners know. That evening we had dinner at the Bleeding Wolf, one of the pubs that we'd been to on the way up. That's the beauty of a return trip, as you get to visit your favourite places again.
It's chilly. That wind's cold, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bitter. It's up and down. In 1 minute it's warm, the next minute it's freezing cold.
Yeah. So that's the Trent and Mersey down there.
Yes.
It's quite an unusual junction where the Macclesfield Canal meets the Trent and Mersey Canal. You're on an aqueduct that crosses the Trent and Mersey, so you can look down and see where you'll be going or where you've come from. It's a really sharp left turn, and Pete signalled back to let them know that it was all clear.
Rain's coming again.
Yeah.
Oh, this is where the big little is.
We came under the bridge and turned right onto the Trent and Mersey Canal. We were now heading south on our long cruise towards the Crick Boat Show.
Where's the lock that came up? I don't know, a month ago. Maybe a little longer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Colour of the water. Wow, it's really brown.
It's from the iron, isn't in the water, I read.
I'm not sure.
Is it from the iron, I think?
The orange colour comes from the iron oxide seeping into the water from the surrounding land. We're heading for the Harecastle Tunnel, and you'll see the water get more and more orange the closer we get.
We've never been on this stretch, have we?
No.
New
Well,
water.
This bit between here and Great Haven we've not done.
Yeah.
Then we'll be back on familiar water again. Bradley Junction and all that. Looking forward to that.
We're in book 4 of the Nicholson's guides, and you can see the navigational notes for the tunnel in the left-hand corner.
Is it just round this corner, the tunnel?
Should be, yeah. Here it is. I can see the tunnel. Barrier across.
You can see the entrance to the tunnel under the bridge ahead of us. The navigational notes say, "Do not enter in an unpowered craft. Passage is prohibited unless the tunnel is manned. The maximum convoy length is 8 boats. You must follow the friendly tunnel keeper's instructions at all times." We'd seen other narrowboat vlogs on the Harecastle Tunnel, but until we saw the orange water ourselves in real life, we really didn't appreciate how orange it was. It's a very bizarre sight, like you're cruising through tomato soup. This shot is totally unfiltered. It really is that bright orange colour. Join us next time as we head through what's been nicknamed Scarecastle Tunnel and see if it really is as scary as people have made out.
Here we go, Pete.
Yeah.
Scarecastle Tunnel. Are you
No,
scared?
I am scared. I'm scared about trying to get through this first bit here.
It's getting even lower now. Really low. How low can you go, Pete?
If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up and give us a like. And if you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. It really helps our small channel grow. Leave us a comment too and tell us where you're watching from. We'd love that we have viewers from all over the world now.
Every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive. And the time that we share makes it all worthwhile.